Hello folks, welcome back. In this video we're going to focus on the edit feature here. So let's get straight to it. We are going to go into modules, books, views and list. Okay, so you can see our list of books here, and what we want to do here is have it so that when somebody clicks inside one of these list items, so inside any one of these, we want a form to appear. So the way that we do this is we're going to add in a little MX hyphen trigger equals click. So we're saying, okay, if somebody clicks inside this, well, what we're going to do? We're going to do a little MX get request. And where? I hear you say, where? Well, let's build an endpoint. We'll call it books / edit book. Actually / let's chuck in the ID as well. We'll probably need that, okay? All right. Now we haven't made this yet. We'll do it in just a second. But what we're saying is if somebody clicks one of these list items, we're going to fetch some stuff from here. Now the next question is, where on earth is all of that stuff going to go? So for that, I'm going to just say MX target equals. Now, you have to be careful here because there's a chance that somebody could click this paragraph or something and you could have challenges. So I'm going to just say closest LI. Closest and then a space and LI. That's going to find the nearest ancestor that is a list item. Okay? So that's what we're going to do, and that's enough for us. So let's head on into controllers. This is the books controller here. And maybe around about here, I'll have a little method called edit book. Okay, so it's just like what we have here. And as you can see, we're also looking for an ID. So I'm going to say record ID is, and it's going to be segment 3. If you want, you can say comma int. That's going to convert whatever's in the URL into an integer. It's not a bad practice, you know. Now, we can then say record object is this model get where. And we're going to get where we have something with this record ID. I'm going to do a little var dump on this record object here. So if we navigate to books / edit book /1, you can see something like this. Notice that this is an object. Now, we're going to be creating a view file just like down here and passing in an array of data. So to turn the object into an array of data, all you have to do is say data equals, and in parenthesis, it's an array of the record object. So if we now say var dump data, there it is. We've turned it into an array, okay? Now you can say JSON data if you want a different representation, but I do hope that that makes sense. Now, let's load up a view file. So it's this, we're loading up view. I'll call the view file edit book, and I'm going to pass in the data array. Okay, so let's say views, new file, it's edit _ book.php. And for this, I'm just going to have a div like this, and I'm going to go to list here. Actually, we'll go to demo. I'm going to be a little bit lazy because I want to just copy this form here. So I'll copy that, chuck it in, and let's see what else we can do. Okay, so the URL is going to be books submit but / and I'm going into PHP and echoing the ID. That's the URL. And then MX target page top, I'm quite happy with that. I'm not going to have a spinner for this one, no. And on success, we're going to refresh the result there. That's fantastic. Now, where it says add, we're going to say update. Okay, just a couple of other quick changes before we run this. On the submit endpoint, let's get rid of this sleep thing if you've still got it. And also, if you want, you don't need to, it's just a tutorial, but you could add in a little bit of security there. I just copied and pasted from below, and that's going to make the endpoint secure. We've also got cross-site forgery request working, remember? Cross-site forgery request protection working, and there we go. So let's just quickly review this before we test it. We are saying on the list of books, if somebody clicks one of these, we're going to get some stuff from books /edit book and then / the ID. The target, now I'm going to write this like this actually. Okay, are we doing this? Something like that? Okay. So the target, meaning the thing that we're going to change, is going to be the closest list item. There's one other thing that I almost forgot, and it's going to be MX swap equals outer HTML. See, normally by default it swaps the inner HTML, but I want the entire LI thing to just disappear. So that's why I'm saying swap outer HTML. Okay, so that's going to load up this little beauty here. And I think that's about that. So we're going to go and head back to our demo thing here. And I'm going to click. And you can see, actually, I just noticed today's deliberate mistake of the day. We have to add in the values. So for the first one, it's going to be book title. For the next one, it's going to be author. Okay, so if I click, okay, that was that. So that was Animal Farm. Here's Treasure Island. Click. Pretty cool. And by the way, you can modify the CSS and get the buttons all perfect if you like. Now, before we do the actual update, there's one other thing, which is I don't like the way that we're getting stuck with these things here. So let's make it so that if we click somewhere else, then this is going to go back to normal like this. Okay. So the way that we do that is super easy. We're going to just go to the demo view file again, which is actually an HTML template. But on the body tag here, we're going to say MX trigger equals click. So if somebody clicks anywhere on the body, we're going to say MX get equals, and it's going to be books list. And we're going to say MX target equals the result div. So if I refresh, what that means is that somebody can click here, then they can click here, and it all just goes back to normal. All right, well, we have time for a quick edit, and I'm so glad that I noticed this just before I uploaded. If you have a look here, you can see that we're saying input, blah, 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 and then we're just chucking the value in like this. Now, strictly speaking, that's not entirely safe. We should escape this here. So what I'm going to recommend is that we use Trongate's out function for this. Here's the documentation. If I go into string helpers and then out, it gives you a little explanation as to how this works. Perhaps it's changed since you were here. But the idea is it's a function that can accept 3 arguments. So we're going to have the string to be escaped, the character encoding to use. For us, that's going to be UTF-8. And then the third argument is the output format. So it can be, well, any of these here, but the one that we are looking for is attribute, because it's an HTML attribute. Okay, so let's give this a quick try. So if we say out, all right, now remember it's the string itself, so we do that, and then we're going to say UTF-8, just like this, just like that, and then the third argument is going to be attribute, like that. Okay, it's not going to dramatically change anything on our end, but it's just that, you know, it's a tutorial and we have to do our best, right? So here we go again, and this one is author. Same again. So that's the string, that's the character set, and it's an HTML attribute. By doing this, it guarantees that we're not going to have anything strange happening with our form, okay? So, George Orwell updated. There you go. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you'll check out the documentation and have a look at some of the other things that Trongate MX does. It has a whole bunch of other features that I haven't even had time to show you yet. Anyway, thanks very much, and if you like using Trongate, please do give the framework a star on GitHub. It's all we ask. I haven't made a penny from this framework, but if only I can get a star or two, then it'll all be worth it. Alright, thank you. Cheerio.